Okay, in this video series I'm going to work on producing an isometric view, and this is an isometric view that's actually shown in your book. This is on page 76 of your workbook, and we're going to be reproducing this, but we're going to double the size of it. Okay, and like the last video, I don't want to use any kind of instruments other than a pencil and your hand. Okay, a steady hand. In fact, I want you to use a line that doesn't have any I'm sorry, a piece of paper that doesn't have any lines on it, just a blank piece of paper. But we'll be transferring measurements from the 6 views here into an isometric view, freehand sketch. The isometric views are very common, and the thing about them is that between this line, which you might want to call the x-axis, lines in that direction, and the line here, which you might want to call the y-axis, is 120 degrees. Or you can think of the x and y-axis being 30 degrees above the horizontal. Okay, and you can see that angle between lines all the way through the drawing. Okay, it produces some nice looking 2D drawings, but it gives a 3D appearance, and is very common in drafting. Now, the problem with isometric drawings is that on irregular or curved surfaces, you can end up getting in some very confusing drawing. And with CAD, it's not that big a deal, but freehand sketching it causes some issues, especially irregular curves. And that was the advantage to the cabinet sketch, is that you can make it where the problem views, like this circle, for example, you actually see the end view of the circle instead of having to draw an ellipse like you do in an isometric view. So there's advantages to both, but we're going to work on the isometric. And this one, remember, we're doubling the size of everything, and we'll use the same scale that we used in a previous drawing. So I'm just going to remember this is 1 from here to here. The height of the base is 1. The width of the object is about 3.75, so we need to multiply all those numbers by 2 when we start off. Now, you really should center the drawing on your paper, and what we're going to do, we're not going to do it exact, but we're going to use this point, and we're going to place that left to right centered, okay, and a little bit below the vertical center. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I will just put a mark approximately right here. Now, what I want to do is I want to try to draw an approximate horizontal line, just so I can basically create a horizon. All right, and I want to create a mark here and a mark here, and hopefully that'll help me with my angles. Okay, and I just want to draw a horizontal line. Now remember, the lines that we'll be working with are 30 degrees to the horizontal, and we're doubling the size. Okay, so the first move I want to make is I want to work on the front of the object. The measured scale that we used was 3.75 from left to right, so we're doubling that. So that'll be 7.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Be about right there, and we want to try to be about 30 degrees above the horizontal. Just do the best you can. That'll be about right there. Now I need to mark 2 in from each side, so that'll be 1 there and 1, 2 there. Okay, and now I want to connect those points. All right. Now I want to go up by 2 from each end point. And again, I mentioned this in the previous video, but you really need to draw your first lines lightly until you're happy with the direction of or the path of your pencil lead, and then you can go back in and darken it. Because I'm doing a video, I'm going to have to do it dark the first time. So, alright, and just hope for the best. and I am no pro at these freehand sketches. They're quite difficult to me. Alright, so we measured this before. This little recessed area is 1/2 unit deep, so we're doubling the scale, so it'll be 1 unit deep. Okay, so I need to work on that, and I want to try to get this angle just right. Try to get it 30 degrees to the horizontal. And I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and draw those two lines. It might be a little easier to get the. I'm trying to get all the lines parallel that I'm drawing right now. And for this one, I'm just going to draw a mark. I'm going to use it, but it's not going to stay there. Okay. And now I want to connect. And I want to go toward this line, but of course I want to stop at the visible edge there. Okay. Okay. Not the greatest, not too bad. Alright, so this line here is 1.75. We want to multiply that by 2, so that'll be 3.5 on our scale. And we will do that there. So I'll draw that. And I will do the same thing on the other side. And this is going to be tough because it's going to be hard to duplicate the angle. Just do the best we can. The distance between these endpoints should be approximately the same as this, though. So that's 7.5, and that's a little more than 7.5. So maybe if yeah, that's about right, actually. So maybe if I aim to a little bit to the right of that point. Okay, and then connect. Remember, I want to look at the destination point. That's a long distance, so the temptation is to watch the end of your pencil, and this seems to work better if you look at where you're going. Instead, it's kind of like throwing a football. You don't look at the football, you look at where you want to throw the football. Okay, so it's 2.75 here, so that needs to be 5.5 on our scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. All right. And you may remember from the previous drawing that this was 5 and that was 4. We're doubling the scale, so that'll be 10 and that'll be 8. So I want to draw a line straight up. 6, so that'll be 10, and this will be 8. All right. Again, this is a long stretch here, so we'll and do it here. Okay. Then I want to connect these endpoints. And I want to draw a line straight up from here that's 8 units long. Alright. So there we go. And then back to the beginning. I'll go to here. Alright. So so we want to try to do the very top edge of the object. I can't remember how, that's 7.5, so we want to do that again. 2, 3,